All right, so for this project, we're going to model another character, but instead of doing it through the box modeling method, we're actually going to sculpt it out, just using Dino, Topo, and Remesh and various other things. We're not going to concern ourselves with topology as we're modeling. We're just going to concern about the overall form and the aesthetics of what we're creating, okay? However, to do that, we are going to need basically a base shape that we can kind of utilize in order to model our character. So I just did File, New, General. I'm just going to delete this. So just select that, delete it. And we're going to make a capsule shape because pretty much all like the arms and the legs and the torso and even the head to some extent, they're all kind of a capsule sort of shape, right? Meaning it's like a cylinder with rounded top and bottom. So that's what we're going to work on. So I'm just going to hit Shift A, go to Mesh, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a cylinder. Voila, look at that cylinder. It's great. Okay, I need the rounded top and the rounded bottom, so we're going to do Shift A again. And this time we're going to choose UV sphere, and you'll notice it's automatically the same size as that, which is pretty great. So what I want to do is I want to move it up. I'm just going to hold Alt like this so you can see it from the side. I'm going to hit G, and then I'm going to hit Z so it stays on the Z axis. And I want to move it up till basically that apex of it matches with this, right? So you can see that there. All right. And I'm just going to do the same thing again. This time I'll just hit Shift D to duplicate, and then I'll hit Z, and I'm just going to move it down till basically the same idea. And if you look, we now have this capsule shape. However, they are separate pieces, so I want to combine these together so that I can work on them. So I'm going to hold Shift, click, click, have all three of them. Then we're going to hit Control J for join. You can also go to Object, Join right here. Now, they are going to be treated, you can see when I click on and off, it is going to be treated as one object, but the issue with that is that the one object that it is, it's still the vertices and stuff are not actually combined. It's still just a cylinder really inside of or a sphere inside of the cylinder. So I'm going to remesh this. Basically, a remesh does is it will take the form and it will automatically generate a tessellated model. Actually, I think it's not tessellated. I think it tries to do quads, but it'll automatically generate, basically reskin the object. The issue with it, and the reason why it's not really useful for like full-fledged modeling, is that it doesn't take the topology, and the contour. It doesn't try to create edge loops that flow around properly. You'll see it's kind of haphazard, but it's good for sculpting purposes. So we could do this a couple different ways. We could select it here, and then if you go to the data, or data, depending on how you say it, you can go to remesh and we can hit voxel remesh here. Instead, what I'm going to do is this, because you might put in a number here and then you have to wait and see what the resolution ends up being. So what we're going to do instead is I'm actually going to go to the sculpting tab. Okay, and you'll see there's actually an option up here for remesh. It's the same algorithm and stuff. Oops, yeah. And actually this one doesn't have the one option that the other one did. But the reason why I'm going to use this is that if you see, I can click on this little eyedropper, and what that's going to do is it's going to sample the object that I click on and make that the default. So if I click on this, and then I'm just going to click on the sphere here. I don't know why. You notice it didn't update. I have to like click off, and then if I go back to it, it updates. So roughly the resolution, if I were to do this, will make it 0.1795. Okay. Now watch, if I do it to this, I'm going to click off and go up here, you'll see it's 0.79. And that kind of makes sense because if you see here, see how this is kind of lower resolution? There's a lot more going on in this one. So I want it to be basically like the top of the sphere. So I'm going to click on this. We'll click the top of the sphere. I'll go back so you can see it. And you can see it says 0.179, right? And we can also just superficially put that in there. Now when I hit remesh, you'll see, and I'll put this back on again. It basically kind of the resolution that was up there is basically now on here as well. And it's all one unified piece. So we have a nice little capsule that we will just duplicate to more or less make all the pieces that we're going to build off of. Okay, so that's all we're really after for this video. It's just to make this foundational shape.